Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on another Manao moment with Lexi. I am so excited because I wanted to share with you something that really truly impacted me, and it's really not what you think. Not that I want to glorify the subject matter at hand. I wanted to highlight how God can turn a situation around. So, growing up as a little sister to two way older brothers, they would watch all kinds of movies, action movies, boy man movies, right? The scary movies. They were so big into scary movies. I don't know how many times we watched Nightmare on Elm Street. So, zombie movies in the 80s were extremely cheesy. Zombie movies weren't really mainstream. They were more like B-rated movies that had all this blood and gore. I grew up blood and gore. So I do blame my brothers for this, by the way. Oh, you can blame like a whole bunch of stuff on your brothers, especially you being the younger sister. Always had this fascination, this draw to the paranormal. And it wasn't until I became serious about my walk with God that I learned that exposing myself to those things wasn't really in the best interest of my spirit, of my heart. I know in this day and age, a lot of people, they struggle with the sexual stuff, right? And for me, it was horror. It was a horror genre. For me, it was scary stuff that kind of stimulated this just desire to be drawn to the paranormal and fear inducing content. So it took me some time, and people did help me to get past that. It was a real addiction. It was a very real addiction because you're always drawn back to that genre, that type of thing that really affects your soul. I guess I'm celebrating sobriety in a sense that I haven't watched like horror stuff in a very long time. I think it's been like maybe over 2 years since I laid eyes on any single horror flick, and it was okay. I didn't die. I didn't, explode. I think it's a good thing to refrain yourself from things affect your soul. So a couple of years ago, I wasn't aware of this YouTuber named Mr. Ballen. Now, to his credit, he's such a great storyteller. If you ever heard of Mr. Ballen, he has like millions of subs on YouTube, and like people are just fascinated by his storytelling. Like he has the ability to draw you into a story that's not even his, not taking that away from him, but he does great content. But it's so good that you get immersed in the story. I would say he's a great YouTuber. He's very extremely successful at what he does. A very brilliant guy, in my opinion. But his content probably wasn't the best content for me to consume. So I started to watch Mr. Ballen episodes. I remember when I discovered Mr. Ballen, I always wanted to watch his episodes, and I was looking forward to that episode that he released. I guess it was every Tuesday. I know that I'm like blowing up Mr. Ballen right now, but I just want to say I appreciate him as a storyteller. His content is really not godly though. His content is not something that really gives life, a lot of life. Because of Mr. Ballen, I don't think I could ever go to a national park. Like, I will stay away from Yellowstone National Park like no one's business. Anyway, so I was watching these episodes, and, there's a pattern. There's a pattern that I really discovered, because I'm like horrified almost all the time I watch Mr. Ballen. I'm horrified at the fact that so many people have died, and usually at the end of his story, like someone's dead. After watching a number of Mr. Ballen for months, this happened for months, I came to one conclusion, that probably 98% of the stories that Mr. Ballen shares could have been avoided. I mean, people do like quote unquote stupid things, and they pay the ultimate price for them. And I'm like, this could have been avoided. But 98% of Mr. Ballen's stories could have been avoided. Like, seriously. And so, I thought about that, and it scared the bejeebies out of me. And I'm not saying that I was scared in the traditional sense of being fearful, but I had the fear of the Lord at that moment of consuming content that I wasn't supposed to consume. God spoke to me loud and clear. And he basically shared with me that what people lack the most is wisdom, like basic wisdom. Now, you have two kinds of wisdoms. You have the worldly type of wisdom, the things that people know. Sometimes you call it common sense, maybe. Then you have godly wisdom. The godly wisdom that's responsible, prudent. The godly wisdom that continues to tell you over and over again, don't hang out with these people. Be cautious about those that draw you away from his presence. So the Bible has a wealth of knowledge and wisdom that, of course, the majority of people in this world don't practice. Because like how I said, they are the walking dead. They are zombies who just fall into things. Zombies are just like, they don't think. Like if you threw a brain off the cliff, they would jump off the cliff to go after it. But while I was kind of caught up in that, God used it. He turned it around and he gave me the importance of his wisdom. It drew me closer to him in that I had the fear of the Lord, because I'm thinking these people who died horrible, gruesome, senseless deaths, these people didn't even know. They weren't even aware that they didn't practice wisdom or discretion or common sense even. I mean, some of the stuff was common sense. I was really challenged. And I was like, man, I can't do this life without God. Because if those people didn't know, who's to say that I don't know? I could be deceiving myself. I could be fooling myself into thinking that I'm wise and I wouldn't get into a situation like that. It's to fool ourselves into thinking that we got it all together. Like, I wouldn't do that. If you don't have the wisdom of God, you can fall for anything. If you have done stupid things in the past and you've learned from them, don't think that you are immune. Your human nature is going to always be drawn to that unless you plant your mind and you plant your heart into wisdom. I drew closer to God and I said, Lord, I want to fill myself up with your wisdom. And I tell you, it changed my life. Just to read the book of Proverbs, I did it for 1 month. There are 31 Proverbs, and every day I hit on a proverb, and it changed my life. The book of Proverbs, which is God's word, it's God breathed. It's the wisdom of God to keep you out of stupid situations. It's the wisdom of God to keep you out of things that will end your life early. It will save your soul. It will save your body. It will save your life. Like literally. October has 31 days. So based on my calendar as of now, October 1st is Sunday. So starting this Sunday, I challenge everyone to get into a proverb. Start Proverbs chapter 1 and read a proverb every single day in October. See how much more you're in tune to the things of God. See how much more you are connected to his heart. See how much more you are more aware. You are more responsible. You'll be more careful. You will be more cautious. You'll be more discerning of the people in your life. You're not going to inadvertently invite a psychopath into your life, or an axe murderer, or a serial killer into your life. Like, you're going to have discernment, and you're just going to be more aware of what's going on, to have the mentality that anything can happen, but you're ready for it. And that's what the book of Proverbs is really all about. We're going to have more and more wisdom. And I guarantee you, by October 31st, you would have gained a wealth of knowledge. You would have built up your discernment to make it in this world full of traps and snares and things that are just ready to pounce on you at every opportunity. I can't wait to go into Proverbs again. It's so exciting. I journal every time I do Proverbs. I write down one principle that I learned, and it's just so good. It's so good. If you take this challenge, let me know in the comments and just let me know how it's impacted your life. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. So aloha, and until next time, bye.